Well, I've got to get to the studio. You know, our religion, our faith, has to address the environment, has to address the community, has to address issues of poverty. What are some of the things you liked about Chicago?
Oh, the Art Institute.
And one of the things I know that you and I share is Chicago.
This is true.
Really distinct goals. Our primary interest was in campaign finance reform, but we were also interested in election law and in civil union.
Have better and cleaner politics in Oregon. Dan, good to have you on Speaking Frankly. You know, that's the thing is, we as human beings live together on this planet Earth.
Right.
We also live together in our societies, in our nations, in our communities. Welcome to Speaking Frankly. Well, here we are. Fall finally got here. Well, it's been a beautiful fall, but now we're really beginning to feel it, and the trees are losing their leaves, and we know we're moving into the solid autumn territory or time. And I have as my special guest today David Robinson. David,
Hi,
good to have you back on Speaking Frankly.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate you having me back.
Well, and one of the things that I find so exciting is that you're going to be running for the U.S. Congress.
That is true. I am running for Oregon's 1st Congressional District.
Okay, Oregon's 1st Congressional District. Good for you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Well, I know I enjoyed our conversations before, and I'm looking forward to more conversations now as you're running for office.
I'll be back whenever you want me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, now, you're a commander in the Navy Reserve, aren't you?
That is true. I am a commander in the Navy Reserves. I am the operations officer of a CB regiment, which is a unit that has some CB battalions that report up to it, and I have a couple of those battalions right now. As the operations officer, I guess the rough equivalent is the chief operating officer of a corporation, and I have about 1,200 people that report up to me and do executions.
I see.
Excuse me, that do projects and execute work that we put to them.
Well, you know, I was in the Navy, never got as far as you got, but I was in the Navy Air Corps training program, the V5 program. They sent me to school, college for 2 years, and then they had us in flight training, and I got through A, B, and I was in C stage on the SNJ, and then I flunked out on my landings.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
But the captain called me up to his office after 2 days with another instructor, and he asked me, "What are you doing, Nelson?" He said, "You're taking extra time." I said, "Well, my name was there with a new instructor, so I went up." He said, "Do you want extra time?" I said, "Well, the war is over. I think I want to go study philosophy," which is what I did, and had the good fortune of the GI Bill. You know, it's so important.
It is. It is very important, and I think the country is very thankful that the GI Bill has been returned in its old form and much improved over what it used to be. And I think in a couple of years, the country is really going to see the benefit from that as we bring more higher, better qualified service members back out into the normal job force.
Well, you know, my own life is a good illustration of that. I mean, here I was born poor. My mother ran a rooming house. That's how she supported the two of us, etc. My mother and father were divorced, and etc. I worked from the time I was 8 years old, had jobs all the time, you know. But the GI Bill was wonderful, wonderful.
Gave you an opportunity, and you came back here to Oregon to teach, and a whole generations of Oregonians have benefited from your teaching. That's a great thing.
Well, now tell me, you've decided to run for Congress.
That is true. I'm running.
What are some of the reasons that you decided to get involved politically?
I have a long history of service to this country, service to the public, and pretty much all my adult life has been in service of others. I didn't enter the normal job field. I didn't go out and work and make a lot of money elsewhere. I've always devoted my life to service. And when I decided to leave active duty from the Navy and move back to Oregon, I can't turn off that desire to serve.
Yes.
And so when I'm the kind of person that looks out across an enterprise or across a state or a community and sees issues that need to be addressed, and I want them addressed. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going out there, finding out the issues. I have my opinions on what issues are important, but all Oregonians have their opinions on what issues are important. I'm listening to them, and I'm going to be engaged and responsive to their needs, and I'm going to provide real leadership back in Washington, D.C. to bring good things to Oregon.
And that's really what a democracy is all about.
Yes. Good people doing good things for the...
good.
Yes, exactly.
That's right. Well, I'm so glad to hear about this dedication on your part for the people of the state of Oregon. Now, we have a beautiful state, lots of potential resources. I remember when I first came to McMinnville, being surprised coming from Chicago to McMinnville, that here we were, and we had a steel mill in McMinnville. How could we have a steel mill? Then I learned it was because in the early days, the citizens here founded the Mac Water and Light and produced their own electricity.
Yes.
And what they did was then got ready to do electric furnaces, but then after Bonneville, the Bonneville power people said, if you will get your power from us for your steel mill, we'll take care of you. You don't have to generate all that yourself. It's a wonderful thing. That's our biggest employer, is the steel mill here, because we were initially generating our own electricity.
Right. Oregon has an abundance of natural resources, and one of those is water. And as we talked before my last time on your program about Oregon's water, it is one of the great resources here in the state. It provides water for our farms, our vineyards, our major manufacturers. Our major manufacturers and employers would not have located to this state if we didn't have the water resources. We need to have people in Congress and in leadership who understand the importance of these resources and will take the actions required to protect those resources and make sure that Oregon's water stays in Oregon.
Well, that's the thing. Here we are in one of the most beautiful states in all 50 states, and at the same time that we have this beauty, we have natural resources for jobs and for the economy, and we could do even more than we're doing already. What are some of your thoughts about an investment to an even more robust economy now that we're having a kind of a downturn in the economy?
Investments in our economy are essential for us to continue to climb out of this recession that we've had, this devastating recession that has caused so much heartache and pain to Oregon families and American families overall. We need to continue to invest in our economy to help climb out of that. Further investments will lead to greater jobs here in Oregon, and we need to target our resources and our ideas to those areas that will generate those jobs, those good-paying blue-collar and white-collar jobs that will make sure that we keep manufacturing here in Oregon, expand our manufacturing here in Oregon, make this a center for green energy jobs in the future. Not just in the future, but today and moving on, will be a leader of the United States and around the world. Make sure that we have investments in our education that continue to provide graduates who can bring additional jobs here to Oregon. These jobs for Oregonians will provide the basis for the services that we all want.
Well, that's one of the things that this summer, the end of the summer, my wife and I took a trip on the Baltic Sea and visited some of the countries along the Baltic Sea. And one of the things, we were in Amsterdam. From Amsterdam, we visited Berlin, we visited Stockholm, we visited the capital of Finland, and we went as far east as the Soviet Union to St. Petersburg.
Okay.
And then